just can't believe it, can you?
What's going on, Waylon?
What are you doing? He's like,
I got your shirt.
He said, you wear other colors than red and black?
I know. I had to go deep for this one. It's clashing with my red and black, but I pulled it out for you because I saw you was wearing it. I saw you was wearing the same jersey that I had tonight. I was going to surprise you. You just put yours on for the first time today.
Yeah, he's never worn it.
And so when I came out, he looked at me and he was like amazed that I had the same shirt he had on. Like, how does he even know?
Waylon, I didn't even know he had that.
Go show him, Waylon. What does it look like?
Come over here.
He said,
See?
don't.
Look at him.
He goes, don't recreate last night.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, the only thing that would be different to make it even better would be like if he was Robin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That would have been
Well,
cool.
But
you're
we're-
dressed up as Batman and we get a Robin costume.
Yeah. I've got the Batman costume, so he's got the.
That would be cool.
Gotta find your Robin costume, Waylon.
Then he blends in with the. That's why we have to put a jersey on him because he blends in with the carpet and we just step on him.
He did a pretty little spin.
Oh.
Oh,
Are you showing off your shirt?
no, he's trying to eat his leg again.
Yeah, I see that. Wait.
All right, well, welcome to another Clues podcast. Once again, tonight we don't really have a agenda. Going to the new year, you never know what to expect. So we're just trying to catch our breath and keep up from 2024, and much less try to worry about what's going on in 2025. So much still happening. So try to take it one day at a time.
Yep.
Waylon, what are you doing, buddy?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. With
You trying to show off your little jersey? You showing off your jersey? You want everybody to see it? He's like, are me and OG in there too? Inside the TV. He probably just now saw the TV and wondering who those were bad guys.
He's like, how did we get trapped in there?
What?
I thought we were here. You doing so many spins.
Oh, my goodness.
You smiling?
Want to come up here?
Come on.
So are you ready for your break to be over?
No,
Why?
I like doing nothing. And sleeping in past 5:30 in the morning.
Oh,
I did see, I think a lot of the teachers back in Alabama would go back tomorrow.
good for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, previous
They
years,
were not
No.
looking forward to it.
all the previous years, we've gone back January 2nd.
No, and I say
know,
that
why did
because a lot of the ones that choose to go back early, they get off earlier in the summer.
Yeah.
So, after about 2 weeks, you don't even want to be around your own kids that are out of school at that age, much less, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
no, I know they vote on calendars all the time, and most
Yeah.
people don't, get what they want, but I know there's calendar votes that take place.
This is the latest we've gone back, though. We've always used to go back January 2nd.
Yeah. Well, we always went back like right after the new year. So,
It seemed like
I mean,
something
like, as a
changed. I
teacher.
know
but
maybe
when we were kids, we didn't. I don't think.
I assume over time maybe the amount of hours or days changed, but I'm sure.
We still get out like the same, like May 23rd or 24th or 25th. One of those days.
Well, I do know here in Texas they do now based off of hours versus how many days. It's like so many hours per year that they have to be in
Right.
school.
we do days.
Maybe charter schools, they're not under the
That's
same
possible,
thing
yeah.
as a public school
yeah,
or a
okay.
county school. As they would know it back in other areas.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Yeah, she's glad she didn't have to go back to work today or tomorrow.
Bro.
She would have been miserable.
Yeah.
Yep. Finally sleeping in this week, and then when I go back, I'm gonna have to get used to it all over again.
It usually takes a good 3 days to get into another routine. Because if you're normally getting up at 5:30 or
Yeah.
6,
It took me a
and
whole
then you
week.
try to sleep,
Took me a whole week to sleep past like 7.
and now that you are, by the time you get used to doing that, you have to go back to the other one, right?
Yes. Oh. What's today? Thursday.
Thursday. Of freedom. But then
Well, no, Monday's kind of freedom because I have my reading academy training, so I don't have to go to my campus.
and then the
Okay.
sooner you get back, the sooner you can get out for the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 months. Already
Well,
gotta
there's a
count it.
spring break in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's like so far away.
It's in March, isn't it?
I don't
Yeah.
know. It changes.
It is, but that's 3 months.
Mhm.
That's the long part of the year. But
Yeah, I
it
know.
also the part
Actually,
of the year
January is like the
that
longest month
normally
of the year. It
that
seems
normally
like.
goes by fast too.
Mhm.
Like after you come back from Christmas break, it goes by fast, and after you come back from spring break, it's basically over.
Yeah.
But I have nothing. I don't have anything planned for when I come back. So when I come back in the days that, like all the other teachers have professional development at the campus,
Mhm.
so they get to lesson plan
Mhm.
and prep. I have nothing prepared. So when I go back Tuesday, we're gonna figure it out together, me and the kids. But I get there early enough anyway to. I can
Yeah,
prep.
you
Just
get there
gonna
pretty
wing it.
early.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give them like a spelling test or homework that week because we'll only be in school 4 days.
And look, they're not going to really want to learn much the first day or two. But all the administrators over at all the districts will be like, we need to have them taking tests. We need to see their scores.
I don't even remember
you
where
know.
we stopped. What we the last thing we learned. I know how to finish math testing them because I did some before break and then could do the rest after. But I'm very ahead of that. We weren't supposed to take that test for another like
Well, that's
2
Yeah.
weeks.
that's really good.
All right. So when you were a kid, all right, what was the most scariest moment you can remember? All right. We'll give a couple minutes to think. Or if you got one, go ahead.
I have one, but it's not like the scary. That's not like the scariest moments I remember. It's just a moment that scared me. It's not the
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to
scariest.
get personal or deep. You can just say like when you were frightened the most or scared the
It's
most.
just the one that came up
Okay. What is it?
when I was going to get my tubes taken out.
Of your
And-
ears.
Yeah, of my ears.
Yeah,
Of my
That's,
ears.
Oh, when
you
you were,
know,
like,
not when you're a
one?
baby. Let's make sure we get that.
And
We wouldn't have any tubes tied at 1 year old, you know. I mean,
No, I know what she was talking about. I said
and the doctor came in and I started crying because he was bald and he had a big head and I thought he was an alien. That like I
Hey,
remember that
But what they're saying now, what if he was?
he
I
may
mean,
have
you know,
been.
he may have been.
he let me decorate my oxygen mask with door stickers. But when he first came in, I just remember started crying because he scared me. His head was big and white and he was bald and he's so.
Was
scary.
this before the mask went on your face or after? Could you see? I mean, obviously, you still remember what he,
He
looks
was the
like.
main
but
doctor.
Well, he let her decorate the
He's like
mask
the
probably
main
before he
character,
put it
right?
on her face.
Yeah, he was the doctor that was like. This was before,
So he was player one.
This was before I crashed the Barbie Jeep into the walls trying to get to the surgery room. That
All
was
right,
scary.
so-
I
That
can
was
remember
so
that.
funny.
I remember that.
So the alien doctor for you.
Yeah, that I can remember right now. I gotta think about.
All right. What about you?
I don't know yet. I'm thinking.
That's sad. Why is that the only thing that comes to mind? I feel like there's scarier things that have actually happened.
I mean, there's a lot of scary things that have happened, but you know, I just don't know what I
guess
want to
that
go
one-
into right now.
I mean,
That's one that took a toll on me. I guess.
for me, I guess the scariest I can really remember being was when I was in the 5th grade, and we were getting off the bus, and instead of so our neighborhood, the way it was set up was we had like my house and then someone else's house and then another house here, and you could either walk down the street and go around a curve, or you could just cut through people's backyards and be at the bus stop, which is what everybody did because this was how many years ago was it?
At least 50.
No, I am not that old.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
Continue.
we were getting off the bus. And we decided to
Twinsies.
take another trail
Okay.
to go back. It was
We're going to
another-
go. We're going into the whole movie. All right. Here we go. We're on a trail.
I have to tell you the story,
know,
or you
you
won't
have to-
understand. Okay,
Give me
short
the setting.
story.
No.
A lady pulled up
What? I'm
and she
interested.
scared us, and we were like 2 small 5th graders, and she got out of car and started chasing us, and she was gonna kidnap us, and it was
Ugh.
scary. And we like called the cops and everything, and we had to give like a description. And
Did you have to draw a picture of her?
no, but they took like notes and stuff. And
Did ever catch her?
I don't think so.
Did she ever catch y'all?
No,
She was older.
She turned out to be her mother. I'm kidding.
no, no. So it was really weird because normally I
Callie,
was
you
never
saying Grandma
allowed.
was old whenever Callie was young?
Shh.
That's not Callie.
No, I said Callie. Are you saying that because you said it turned
No,
out to be your mom?
listen,
You can't say
listen.
that.
Listen,
I know it's getting on
I
topic.
wasn't listening. That's why I said that.
I forgot what I was gonna say. So like normally my mom or my dad was always, usually my mom was always home
Right.
when we came home from school. But for whatever reason, this time she wasn't, and so I had to,
she- Orchestrated it. That's not the right word.
listen.
Orchestrated?
So I had to like let myself in and everything, and I was home alone. And I was terrified, and so I ended up calling the people that lived next door because I knew the older sister was home and she was in high school.
Yeah, keep going. Netflix is interested now.
And I was like, "Hey, will you come walk me over to your house because like this just happened?" And so she walked over and got me and walked me back to her house. Yeah, I was in 5th grade. I mean, this was a different time. I mean, it wasn't like, you know.
Yeah, different times people knew the communities.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
And so this was a
it
strange
many
woman, and
times.
no one came in our neighborhood that we didn't know.
I mean, it still
So-
happens now, but it was more so back then. I mean, it's not uncommon for be latchkey kids. You know what I'm saying? Have to let yourself in, and not everybody has that fortune to be able to have, especially this day right now. Everybody having to work multiple jobs, but so yeah, it was. I mean, but we could roam wherever we wanted to. I mean, at least in some areas, we could just play and stay gone for hours, and everybody knew you was going to be safe for the most part. You didn't really hear about kidnappings as much. I mean,
Yeah. Well, we used to stay out all night, within reason, in our neighborhood playing hide and go seek in the dark, and we'd use several backyards, or we'd play basketball, or
now you can't do that.
no.
Well, some areas you still probably can, but
Out here,
Play
can
hide
you
and
imagine
seek
all
in
the
the dark.
Karens that would call because of the bouncing ball in the middle of the night?
You play hide and seek in the dark and someone that's not.
You get
didn't
shot.
think-
Is that what you were gonna say?
no, she was. I don't know. She was.
Did I
saying-
interrupt?
I
you? I'm so
said-
sorry.
You play hide and seek in the dark now, and whatever you think's looking for you, something else looking for
Yeah,
you.
something going to seek you if you
Something
hide
else-
now.
yeah.
That's true.
Something else
That's
gonna get
true.
you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of one of my most scary moments that I can.
These headphones feel bigger than normal.
Maybe your head's smaller.
It just shrunk.
Yeah,
Can you
I've been
shrink
working.
the-
I've
Mine
been
did
working
too
on.
when I was putting them on last night. Like they felt like it didn't.
Can you not adjust them?
I've been working on my head shrinking skills. I'm glad to see it's paying off. Now I know what to tweak a little bit because I got a little too much.
Can you
Look,
not shrink
I
'em?
noticed that.
I mean, like,
last
can
night.
you not make them
Tighten them up or something.
tighten?
I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
I have no
tighten her.
idea. I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, I'll tell you one of my scary moments, but this is like,
Oh yeah, we didn't ask what yours was.
I know, thank you.
You're welcome.
He was thinking.
Yeah. This is going to go along one of the lines of, I'm not going to say paranormal, but
Mhm.
I would say when I was a kid and when I lived in Chicago, and the way the apartments were set up there is like it's one big house, but you have a basement, which is it's a house, it's a floor. You know what I'm talking about? It's a whole house. It may have
Are you talking about the tri-level one?
tri-level houses pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the best way to explain it. On each level, different families can live.
Mhm.
So you're sharing, just like a basic apartment, but a miniature apartment.
Mhm.
So so if you went down go into the entryway and then you go downstairs, that was one family, which was, I think my aunt.
Okay.
The main floor was my grandparents, and the reason we were there is because my grandfather was sick, right? So we was there with them, helping take care of him, and they lived on the middle floor. And above on the next floor, I mean, you're talking about you have to go up about 30 or 40 stairs to get to the third floor, and there's another family that lives up there, and it's my dad's sister. It's another kid, right, of the family. In each one of these houses or each floor there's at least 4 bedrooms each. And you've got your kitchen, you've got your dining room, it's bigger than, I don't know. I mean, if you took our house
Mhm.
and just made it more longer than it is boxier,
Mhm.
and that's probably about how long each one of these were.
Oh, okay.
So I had cousins that lived above and below me.
Mhm.
So I would always go down and play with them, or go upstairs and play with them.
Right.
And I always hated doing it after dark because each time, like if I was going upstairs, I would always feel like something was just like running after me. I was like running as fast as I can, looking back, trying not to kill myself. And you risked it because you didn't know if they was going to be home. So you run up there and you knock on the door and you looking around. And then if no one came, you had to sit there and build up enough courage to get back down the stairs, right? And then when you went down the stairs, it's a wall like blocking everything. So you're going downstairs and you can't see anything until you get to the end and you turn around. So like here I am when I have to go back downstairs, not even having enough time to recover from the first trek upstairs. I'm going down, having to make sure nothing's coming down behind me, and then making sure nothing's coming around the corner at the same time while not falling down the stairs. So that was one scary thing that would always happen
How old
when I
were
lived
you
there.
there?
If I had to guess, I would say probably 8 or 9.
Okay.
One specific time I remember when I went down to my cousins that lived below us, I learned my lesson, right? I wouldn't go down the stairs because even like I said, we were on the main floor.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to go downstairs to get to them. So they kind of went and it turned and it wrapped around. So you had to go down about 20 stairs to get down in the basement, because you got to think it has to be enough stairs to get down to have at least an 8 or 10 foot ceiling.
It's always the basement.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was already a little more, it's a creepier vibe knowing you're going down in the basement, and it's just like, you could go over to one of the rooms and you could look up, like if you were in the living room, you could look up and see people walking by on the street because you're down in the basement, but you could see out the windows, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so crowded. So it's already got a creepy vibe. So I was always cautious about going down there at nighttime. So one time, it was like during the day, so I said, it wouldn't be no problem. So I opened up the door and I said, hey, y'all down here? And they're like, yeah, we're down here. Come on down. And I could hear stuff going on. And so I was like, I just go down there and I'm like, hey, where are y'all? And I hear like the pool table racking the balls. And so I think they had like a little, when you went into their level, when you walked in, you had the dining room, living room, kitchen over here. And then you walked towards the back and it was more bedrooms, and they had like a game room or something in one of the areas. Mm-hmm. And when I went back there was no one in that room. I went and looked in another room and I said, hey, is there anyone in here? And no one ever answered again. So I ran as fast as I could back up those stairs.
Because they answered you?
Mm-hmm.
They answered me and said, down here. You know, it sounded like a mimic, if anyone knows what, you know, but that's if you're into that stuff. But yeah, that was probably one of the scariest I remember as a child. Like, and that's even being more scared than like the stuff I'd gone through personally. But like that experience, as knowing how real it was and knowing I heard, and then having to go down there and seeing there's no one there, you're like, oh my gosh, you run.
Yeah, because you heard them.
Yeah. And I heard the pool balls racking up, and I knew exactly what room they were in based off what they were doing, you know?
That's crazy.
He's like been working on his paw down there the whole time.
Look, he came by, keep biting the thing, it's going to come off.
But it's his front paw this time.
I don't know.
Waylon.
Is it, buddy? He's like a cat. It looks like he's bathing himself.
He probably got some bacon grease or something on his hand.
Probably.
All right, so let's go look at another category. What's a category, Kelly?
Oh, we need a category wheel.
No, we tried the last time.
Yeah, that doesn't
didn't
work
go
out well.
Oh, it didn't?
I have a time that probably almost scared Grandma to death. Not to death, but like, when they lived on the house with the farm, and me, Grandma, and Jaden were coming home from somewhere, and there was this like woman sitting on the bench in like an old timey long dress, and she was reading a book, and she waved at me, so I waved back, and I was like, Grandma, who is that? And she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, there's a lady sitting on your bench outside, because it was like a porcelain white
Right.
a bench, and she's like, no, there's not. And it's like, yes, there is. And she waved at us. It's like, no, she didn't.
She just didn't want to admit
We
it.
can go out
'cause
there and
she
see, but there's
used to see
nobody out
stuff
there
all the time.
So I remember we walked back out there. There was no one there that time. But it was like, during that time, like, you don't see nobody dressed like that.
Right.
The old timey dress, and like she was just there reading. I think the book was like red. And she's like, wave at you to pass.
Yes, you definitely didn't want to believe that one, huh? But it's funny how kids usually are the ones.
Because I think I was probably only like.
I think we all saw something in that house.
Is that the house we lived with them?
Yeah.
Now look, when I say that, kids are more open to seeing the stuff they see a lot of times are real. To them, it's real.
Right.
Yeah, I was only like
because they're
4
still
at that
so
time.
innocent, right? They're still not. They're not at the point where everybody telling them everything they see is fake. Every sound that they hear is fake.
Yeah.
Everything is fake.
Yeah.
So to them, that over time, you start saying that's my imagination, those sounds. I mean, even as adults, when we hear sounds, we can't explain it.
Mm-hmm.
So we just try to brush it off like, hey, the house is settling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because we sometimes people don't want to actually go that route on saying, okay, does something else or could something else exist? And how do you explain it? Even if you say, okay, this is what it is, how do you explain it,
Right.
So,
Or you have the kids who are like, "Mommy, who's that man?" It's like, "All right, we're moving.
right.
We're moving."
Or,
"Mommy, who's that man?" It's like, "All right, we're moving.
right.
We're moving."
Or these kids that I've talked about, hey, Mom, I'm at,
What are you doing, buddy?
Mommy, Grandpa's here, and they've never met the grandpa, and he's
Right.
Yeah, there was
It-
this
making
one.
a- you
There
And
know.
they
was one
describe
video
him and
Right.
everything.
when
yeah.
there was like a little girl that was telling her mom that her grandma was there, and the grandma passed away before the girl was even born, and then she
wow.
was like, no, she's not. And then the little girl, which was like 3 years old, said a name that the mom used to be called when the mom was little, and she's never told anyone that name,
right.
and she started freaking out. She's like, no.
Well.
Now, there are people that will claim that could be a demonic entity that was trying to prey upon the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have some people that say that that's the actual spirit of that individual
Mm-hmm.
or so because of whatever they believe. And then you'll have some people say that kid is just crazy, right?
Yeah.
Crazy somehow magically knew a name that
Crazy.
the mom got called
Yeah.
many years before when she was her age.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only so much you can say that it's coincidental,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after some point, it has to be some truth to something somewhere.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with it?
He is like, yeah, got my spot.
You good, buddy? Yeah, you good?
Like, well, since I couldn't fit in the seat with you.
I know it would have been a tight squeeze.
He said, I'll just cuddle with mom.
You might have a category that you'd want to talk about, like when you were young, or okay, I got one more. You got it. Go ahead. I saw it coming out of your lips. I thought you was
What is something that we did as kids that kids today either would never be able to understand? Like outdoor type stuff or whatever.
It's hard to say that. Because, no, okay, all right, go ahead. I hear what you're saying, but we're going to have people say, "Well, my kids still do that," but we're saying the average.
The
kid.
average, kid that doesn't do
tree.
that. Yeah, exactly. No, I was gonna say, so when we were growing up,
Right.
we went outside
Yeah.
all day, every day, like
Right.
weekends, during the summer. Half the time we didn't see our families until dinner time, and everybody knew it was, when it was time to go home because it was dark or you were hungry. But like,
I would say two of the things that.
I mean, no, wait,
Right.
before I get to that
Okay.
part, I'm going to finish my statement. I mean, my thing.
Okay.
So like, so we were doing all that, but as a kid, like we didn't think nothing of it, right?
Right.
But as a parent now thinking about that, like, I don't know how they did it, because if they just disappeared for like hours and no way to communicate with them, no cell phones, no nothing, we don't have
Right.
Life 360 tracking them. You don't know if they're okay or dead or alive. So it's like,
And it's not so much that you don't trust what they're doing; it's just like
Right.
you don't trust what the other people are doing.
right. And it makes me wonder, like, how did our parents like just be like, okay, it's fine, whatever, they're out playing.
I would say that was different in different areas, but I remember doing some of the same stuff in Chicago, like
Yeah.
being able to play tag or whatever we was playing, walking to school by myself in the
Mhm.
third grade,
Yes.
like in Chicago, Illinois, right? So it's that type of mindset was out there no matter where you lived, and kids just didn't go missing at the rate that they do now, I don't think.
Or that
Or that we
know
just wouldn't
about.
know about it,
Mhm.
Now it's just being brought more to light. But
Yeah.
so is that your thing?
I think so, but I don't know how that was going to include Callie.
What was your question?
Well, no, because I was thinking what you said, a category.
You said kids
Kids
back then that they don't know now. I'm not 5 years old right now.
No, I know.
So
Okay,
she still has something
Are
that
you-
That's right.
Are you
so,
talking about stuff that y'all did that like
No,
the
when I
actually,
was
no.
growing
That
up
this
we
is
didn't do?
good, because I wasn't
This is
actually
how
thinking
time-
about that.
right.
But this
you,
is good.
You did not consider her feelings.
I did not consider it, and I was trying to figure out like
So
where
her
to go
age
from
just
there.
don't exist. Her age group.
No, that's not what it was at all.
I
I was
know what you're
trying
saying,
to
though.
get to that point where, in my mind, in my mind, I'd already made that very clear. I was going with what is something that you did as a kid that that kids today wouldn't be able to understand doing, right? That was my question. We answered it, and so now Callie, in her young adult years, Callie, you work with kids. So what are some things that you did as a child that these kids you teach would never understand?
Board games.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Because
That is true. They don't really play a lot of that much. Well, some families
Some
do.
families do.
Some
They don't
families-
believe,
they-
they're
there
doing
There are still some that don't do the
they're
technology.
unplugged,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's
Which is
probably
fine.
the best, but
Yeah.
I don't, either way. I mean, you have to get the information somehow, depending on what information you want. But board
Right.
games, yeah.
Yeah.
trying to think.
Like I miss a good Candyland game, right? Because that was my favorite.
Don't we have that game?
It's not the same.
Yes,
It's not
but
the same.
It's like it just doesn't feel the same nostalgia. I mean,
It's
when you
not
look
the
at it, I get the
magic's
memories.
not there.
Yeah, the magic after you learn everything in life is like, man, that game is that game even real? But you try to hold on to the game because what did the game do to you?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the most like simplest but fun board games.
I agree.
I mean, Monopoly starts off fun, but
It
it's
takes
so.
so long.
There have been families. There have been people gone to the morgue because of Monopoly. Probably
Did you know?
sometimes they get more serious than the Alabama-Auburn rivalry game.
Did you know that, like in England, like when the Queen was still alive, that she actually banned that game for being played on their in their whatever
house?
land
Those
because of how
domains.
competitive it would become. And so I
That
don't
should
know.
be an Olympic sport.
I don't know if it is still that way today
Board
since she has
game-
passed,
Board
but
game
Yeah.
section.
Yeah,
I
it
always
should
thought
be.
that was interesting. Like, wow, she's the queen. She just banned the game in their house.
They should have the top 10 board games from all across all across the world.
Mhm.
That's the most popular ones that everyone knows. Uno. I mean, I know it's not a board game, but I mean it's like
Well,
we're talking about
Or
our
just,
kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Games.
The ones that checkers,
Granny.
Goldfish.
No, was it?
Operation,
Maid.
it-
Old Maid.
That's what it was. Old Maid.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Operation. So you throw
Trouble,
these,
sorry.
you throw
Life.
these, you throw these 10
The
games in
game
there,
of life.
and you get your top players from around the world.
We
That
play
way,
that every day.
look, that way you don't have any skill. You just,
Connect Four.
you know what I'm saying? You just go in there and you play all 10 games, and then whoever's got the highest score after all the rounds, they get the gold medal, silver medal, and
What
bronze
is that?
medal.
What sport?
Callie
is it?
said that could be the Olympic sport.
Yeah, the
Oh.
board game.
Board game
Oh,
category. You could just throw 10 games in there and let them battle it out.
But you have to pick like 10 random people. They can't be like trained. Well,
No, what I'm
If
saying
they're
is
trained, they would make too
They would be-
analytical, but
look,
they wouldn't
no.
know ahead of time which games it
this,
was.
they would be the
Mm.
same way it would be that you qualify for the Olympics now. You'd have to compete in regionals, and then you'd have to go to the state level, and then you do the national level, and then you go
don't let him hit his head.
for you'd have backup alternates just in case someone's fingers. Hey, you'd have backup alternates just in case someone got blisters and they could no longer play Connect Four.
That's crazy.
I think a cool Olympic game. It's been very popular. Cornhole,
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that would be so much fun.
They do.
is that Olympics?
No,
They
but
play it in our
remember when we were at,
neighborhood.
I mean, that's what I want to see.
We were at somewhere to eat one
The
time.
real, we don't want to say redneck Olympics,
We were at
but those would be some
somewhere,
cool games to watch.
Yeah,
to eat one time, and they had it on TV. The
Yeah,
competition.
they
Yeah,
have they have the championships and everything. Yeah, I'm just talking about like it being in a.
I think we're at Hooters.
Maybe
Olympic
at Hooters,
sport.
yeah.
That's the stuff that would draw us common folk in. Some
Redneck
good
Olympics.
pickleball, and that'll probably be a thing soon because that's a very
Pickleball's definitely
popular
gonna be
sport.
there. But it's
Gotta have
kind of
the
fun. I
redneck
don't mean
Olympics.
That's
I don't play it by
listen,
the
I'm-
regular rules because it's hard for me to understand the rules since I play
Pickleball.
tennis. But
I don't know how it was developed, but it had to be by a white guy that just didn't want to give up tennis.
I'm just still trying to figure out the point name pickle.
There's a
Pickle.
there's a
And there's a story
yeah,
behind
there's a story
it.
behind
Yeah,
it.
I
It's
just
so
I don't
odd.
know what
Like
it
it's
is.
like what? Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
weird story.
It's actually been around for a really long time though.
Yeah, I mean, we called it. I think it was paddleball or pickleball. It may have been pickleball because I remember playing it in high school. We would have a net set up like that, and we'd have like paddles, but they were wooden. They weren't like your pickleball paddles that you have now. And now looking back at it, we was playing pickleball. Obviously, I just didn't know what it was called, or it wasn't popular then. But
Now it's everywhere.
yeah, it's like everywhere now. I was like, man, that's like playing tennis on a basketball court and not having or volleyball.
Yeah. I like volleyball.
I do too.
The game's hard.
We just get too competitive at it. It's a
Yeah.
thing.
Can't hit the ball.
That poor kid in Florida. He's
Oh my
still. I
gosh.
guarantee he still has PTSD from that.
Oh, you know that story, right? I don't care. We'll tell it
When-
to you again.
When Mom and I were in Florida on
We're
vacation,
Panama City,
Panama
Beach,
City
Florida.
Beach, Florida, and we're out there, and I don't know if we started playing volleyball or they asked us to come play with them.
I think you and I were out there just hitting it, and then they asked, "Hey, can we join?" I don't know,
And
but
then
it ended up being a whole family,
and
some more
it got
people
to be
joined
enough to
in.
where it was at least 6-on-6 or something like
Yeah.
that. And their son, he was probably about 10 or 11, maybe, I don't
I
know.
guess.
And I'm out there showing my all Alabama pride body that I had for the beach. Everybody knows what those are. And this guy
Pouring down sweat.
pouring out sweat because it was baking
so
in
hot.
July.
I
100
think we were there for our anniversary.
194 degrees on the sand.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like when your feet hit it sometimes.
Oh, that sounds hot.
But it was, we were sweating.
Beautiful sand, though.
The ball, he and I were on the same team. He was to my left, and I was over here on the corner. So basically, there was one person on the outside. He was in the middle, and I was on the right side, on the front. And someone hit the ball up, and I was going to go up to hit it, or whatever. I was going to go up to hit it, and this kid tried to think he was going to hit it, and his whole face hit the side of my chest right here, and he just slid all the way down it like in slow motion and hit the sand.
Oh my
Yeah, I mean, it was just
God.
like bleh, all the way down.
I mean, I felt so bad for that kid, but
Oh, it
that
was
day he learned
so
a valuable
bad.
lesson: is if you see a grown man going for a volleyball, you better let him get it.
It was so bad.
He learned he learned a valuable lesson that day.
I mean, but he wasn't like a scrawny kid. I mean, he was a
It wasn't
good-sized
intentional.
kid. No,
No, I mean,
I
I
mean,
didn't-
he held his own. He got up and
Look,
finished
I'm
playing
gonna
the
tell
game.
you what. I'm one of
He seemed
those that
fine.
I'm one of those that you probably don't want on the volleyball team because I'm scared that you can't hit the ball good enough. So I'm gonna need to go over there and hit it because and there's a lot of people like that,
Which
right?
led into several times where he knocked me across the court during our staff volleyball
No, look, I'll give
professional
you.
development days where we had to look over at the principal and he would say, what was it? You would say,
that
this is
not spousal abuse.
This is not spousal abuse. This is
Right.
not spousal abuse.
Look, I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I will watch you play and serve and receive. Now, look, I am nowhere near a.
You
Top
were just
level-
competitive.
I'm competitive
In
But in my
everything.
mind, right, I will at least watch you serve 3 times
Yeah.
and receive 3 times and hit it. At that point, I need to make a determination on how I need to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can I do to better assist you to get that ball over the net in the amount of times it takes? Because a lot of people that get out there during these type of events, they are just out there for fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know the rules to volleyball. And so, you want to be nice and like everything, but when the principal's on the other team and he just gloats off of winning so
was
much,
Fun.
something kicks in and you're like, it's got to go down, And then when you get them at their game of basketball, that's when you can just really do it, They're competitive in
That
basketball
was a horrible
too, though.
game.
Wow. Very
That's just-
competitive, though.
Very competitive.
Now,
your father was
soccer?
very competitive.
No, but look, soccer, they would run circles. That's why we would never go play soccer with our principal and their entourage because
not our principal anymore.
number
'cause
one,
we
I
do not have
couldn't-
a principal.
right,
because
yeah,
we do not
we don't.
work from there.
no, we're talking about formal. If this was true,
This is in
we
a
all
past life.
past life that we've had.
Fictional characters.
Like number one, I wouldn't have been out there running all that time because I wouldn't go work all day and then go play soccer for 3 hours and.
I don't know how
They do that, man. They're so healthy and everything, but that's their dominant sport. But they are so aggressive. No, they are so aggressive and competitive in every sport.
They are.
They
really
try.
Are, yeah.
All right, my 2 things.
What are
I know we
talking-
don't went all around that are different.
Oh, as a child.
As a child, I know. I was going to let
I
y'all
was
talk
like,
for
where
a
are we
little bit.
going? You've been talking for the last 20 minutes. So go ahead. Your 2 things.
We interrupt this message for a no.
Wait,
One of them is hauling bale
you
hay.
better stop.
Listen,
He's trying to rip his shirt off again.
hauling hay. Hauling hay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
remember
remember?
you had to do that.
And let's just breeze by that one like that one.
No, I meant like-
Remember you got to do
No,
that.
I thought you were going to continue about how
There's
how
a
bad
lot
it
of
was.
there's a lot of kids in the still in the deep countries that are still hauling hay.
I know that. Yeah.
A lot of it's gone to Circle.
Funny side story on that. Up
Um,
until about a week or so ago, our son thought that every time you said you hauled hay, that you meant, or was it you? It was this one. It was Callie. She thought you meant the big round hay
Oh,
bales,
yeah.
not the square ones.
Yes, see,
So-
that's why I'm saying that they have no clue.
That
those things-
disconnection somewhere
yeah.
even
Like I
was
could
Those
lost.
things are those
Like I
things
can just
are
reach
I
down
mean,
there.
can you imagine? Let's just all think
Get a
about this
big
for a
round
moment.
I
bale.
forgot hay bales.
Let's
was
just
like-
imagine
I
for a
forgot the
moment these
squares.
teenagers carrying round hay bales on their back.
No, because those are
Right.
the things.
That's what this one was
Those are the
thinking the whole
things
time.
that you climb up on, like at the little fairs and everything.
Yeah, I know what they are, and the ones you see in all the fields.
She
out
just
here.
had a momentary lapse of
I forgot the square
judgment.
ones existed at that
Right.
time.
Yeah. See, when we say a word, it's like a word recognition.
It was funny.
And she just
though.
went straight to the circle part every time I said it. To the
So
to the
you
round.
hauled hay as a child. That most
many
kids today
summers,
don't do
right?
that.
Many
Not in these
summers.
areas.
Right. There are still some that
I'm
do.
sure there's actually quite a few in Houston, Texas. That do.
Yep. And picking peppers.
Oh yeah, I don't think they do that much anymore.
I mean, there were, pepper fields. They were just like local farms, and you could go out there on Saturdays, and you could get a 5-gallon bucket, and you would pick peppers, and you would turn in the bucket, and you would get like $5 or $7.50 a bucket, and they would let you pick until the sun went down or until they ran out of peppers.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
So I'm like there. It's like, hey, I mean, they never made us go do it. Our parents.
But
Right.
you did it to earn
There's
the
like,
money.
do your, and sometimes they wouldn't even get out of the car. They would sit in the car while we'd go out there and do it, or sometimes they
Did
come
you get
with
to
us.
keep the peppers?
You get to keep the money
Oh, okay.
because they would sell that.
You're picking the peppers for
Ma'am,
them.
how would
Oh, okay.
like I'm gonna pick their peppers and they're
Well,
gonna pay
no,
me money?
because was there not a place like somewhere where we used to live where you could? It was like you could go and you could pay money for a basket and you
Yes,
could go into the
me and
strawberry fields and
Jaden
pick
did
the
it.
strawberries.
Yes.
But me and Jada, we were
Yeah.
at some like vegetable place and we had to pick the vegetables like corn and everything and the peas off the thing
That's
because we had to bring them home and whoever got like the heaviest basket or whatever got $5. I didn't get the $5. Jaden did, but we had to like then when we went back to grandma's house, we had to like
Thank you so much for the rose. Appreciate it.
snack the snack. We had to break the peas and
Uh-huh.
everything because we collected peas, corn, I think. But we had to go pick it.
Did y'all go with grandma and grandpa to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was about to say
It
yeah.
was
We
in their
didn't take her to
house.
do that.
It was in the house when they had the little walnut tree behind it, or the
Mm-hmm.
pecan tree. Whichever one falls off trees.
Okay.
How about both of them?
Okay, well, one of them. Where you just go back in the backyard and take it inside and eat it.
So anyway,
We need one of those.
we would
Oh,
pick
no,
the
we don't.
peppers, bring back the buckets, collect our money, and then we would use it for like going skating and stuff.
Yeah, your $10 all night skates.
Those were the days.
You know what? It's just I miss
different living.
skating. I mean, like I wouldn't be able to do it now because I'd probably break a bone. But
Even when we tried it when we went to Panama City
yeah,
several
was
years
sore.
back.
It was.
I mean, it was
It's
fun, but it's
different.
not
Like
the
you
same.
don't take the same risk that you did as a
No.
child. Like
But that
when you
was
were a
always
child on those
fun.
skates,
Mm-hmm.
you
I
thought you were
love that
invincible.
skating rink. The day that skate we like go back to Panama City and that skating rink is gone. It's like a part of my childhood that's just ripped away.
Oh my god, yeah.
we go
that was
there
so
every
much
time we
fun.
go to Panama City.
No matter when we go, we always
know.
go to the
We
skating
used
rink.
to go
most of the time we go
so
to we eat
much.
at the CC's.
Yeah,
next to
right there
too.
by it.
I love that skating rink. But then like as years go on, it depends what time you go because most of the time we go in there, there
There's
were like
no
the
one
Nobody
there.
there.
But that was the best time to go.
I
I think
know.
we got to
the
just
only
skate and do
I think
whatever.
we went there a few times, but maybe there was like 2 other families. But it's not like the skating rinks out here where there's like 50 people.
I think most
inside.
people go there at the nighttime, as you know, because that's more of a. But you would think that's
'Cause
when
it's
the,
all black
the
light.
parents would bring the kids out that was visiting there during the daytime, and that way
Well,
they
I
had to
guess
fight
during
the
the
traffic
daytime
and
they're all
everything.
at the
They
beach
always
and
had
stuff.
like the
Yeah,
good
beach.
music on too.
It's just
Like
Sometimes you escape the
Yeah.
heat some one day. You know,
Yeah,
like you're like,
I
hey, we're
mean-
gonna stay off the beach. We're gonna go.
petition to go
Go
back
shopping.
to Panama City and
Yeah.
to go to the skating rink.
Hey, that would be some good video for
And
our channel, right?
Alba would not
Miracle
be able to
Strip.
skate, I don't think,
I don't think so either.
but we could.
We can get our special skates.
I doubt you're listening this long if you see this on YouTube, but if you do, we do have another channel that we had just launched this year, actually a few days ago at the beginning of the year here, called My Local Family. And so that will not be podcast based per se. We will be doing our family gaming, family activities, family, just being a regular family, just kind of living life. And except, we're not your normal typical family. So
I know.
you'll get to see what maybe a real family looks like at most times. So
A real
not the
family.
fake scripted family
real
that you see on
family.
Facebook.
Yeah, the fake scripted
Yeah.
scenarios and
And I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm just telling you in general. Like we talked about the comparison of the apps, right?
Oh yeah.
How Facebook is like, hey, this is I want everybody to see as my family represented page,
Yeah.
right? And then you go over to other pages like
TikTok.
or Instagram or whatever, and it's more personal about you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So each app is tailored to your own audience,
Mm-hmm.
and that people are like, well, I don't have multiple apps. That's fine, right? Some people don't have any, but yeah, it's
Waylon.
So anyway, we're going to be going on as my loco family
my local family.
because our family is loco,
We are crazy, so
pretty much.
we have to be
I mean that in
because
the absolute best way.
yeah. I mean, I don't say that we're crazy. I say that we're just open to different types of in just life in general.
Yeah.
Try to get to know you a little bit before we judge you. Should
We don't
but-
judge.
That's right.
We listen and we don't judge.
We listen. Yeah, that's
But
turned
hey,
out
we've
great.
been doing that for a lot longer than before. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
to an extent. I mean, some of these people
Yeah.
be going. I don't know if you saw them because
I did see
the,
some stuff. Let's not discuss some
because
of it.
well, that,
because
I'm
gross.
trying to. I'm starting to think that they dropped
that's
the
not me judging, that's
UAPs
just like,
and
wow.
UFOs just because they can get rid of this.
That
We listen and
challenge?
we don't judge challenge
Mhm.
because that
That
thing
was
just
so
disappeared.
bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was so
man,
bad.
I-
Some of them got so bad.
that one dude. I'm not gonna mention his name, but he went deep on his family.
Yeah.
The movie star.
Yeah, we're not going. We don't judge.
Yeah, we don't judge. We can say like wow and like
They were interesting.
mm.
Very interesting.
Some people.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you can. It's funny how you can judge without saying a word, right? You don't need to say one word without judging someone. It's like
Side eyes.
side eye them, face them. That's why people got to learn to quit speaking with their faces because people they do it so often, right?
I know.
do.
I'm so bad at it. Like, if I don't say something, my face will.
Especially if it's something that you
Loudly.
just totally are against.
Oh yeah.
You're just like
I'm just being honest. I mean, you
I mean,
know,
like-
I feel like